universe, galaxy, stars, solar system, planet, Earth, nature, tundra, forest, streams, valley, woods, deserts, plains, cliffs, the ocean, and the creatures in this grand earth that we live in. There are countless creatures living, surviving, fighting, and dying. From mammals, fish, to birds, Kingdom Animalia rules the earth. One kingdom, 9 farms, living all over the earth. They are Annelida, Arthropoda, Chordata, Nidaria, Echinodermata, Mollusca, Nematododa, Platyhelminthes, and Porifera. Today, this channel will bring you to the wonder of the largest kingdom existing on Earth. For Phylum Arthropoda, the name arthropod means jointed foot. Of the roughly 1.25 million named animal species, over 1 million are arthropods. These animals occupy by far the widest variety of habitats on Earth. All arthropods have segmented bodies and are covered in a jointed protective armor called an exoskeleton. It has 3 pairs of legs and 1 or 2 pairs of wings. The legs are segmented and, depending on the insect, may have a claw-like structure on the last segment. Insect muscles are connected to their outside skeleton and are generally gray. In order to grow, arthropods must periodically molt, a process that entails shedding their exoskeleton and inflating their body before the new skeleton hardens. They have bilateral symmetry and they are generally relatively small. They can be many different colors depending on the species. Insect has different kinds of mouths depending on the species. Some can chew, some can suck objects. The digestive system is a tube that goes from the mouth to the anus. It is divided into several sections: the foregut, the midgut, and the hindgut. It passes food through its digestive system, and the insect feces pass out of its anus from the hindgut. It breathes through thoracic and abdominal spiracles. Since the insect has no lungs, the spiracles go throughout the insect body to give gases. Thus, the insect bodies are relatively small. It has a circulatory system that carries food, but not oxygen throughout its body. Since it does not carry oxygen, insect blood is green, not red like mammal blood. The insect heart is a simple tube running along their backs. It generally reproduces sexually, although not always. The female genitals are external and are outside the body. The eggs are held in an ovipositor. The female's internal sexual organs are ovaries and the male's are testes that produce sperm. It has antennae that can be used to detect odors or to touch objects. Insects have two sets of eyes, simple eyes and compound eyes. There is a brain and nerve cells. They are nerves grouped in their heads, and they have nerve cord.
There are new rulers now.
Next is Phylum Chordata. The name literally means of or with a cord, referring to nerve cord and the notochord. However, the old Latin word was chorda and meant string of gut. It's easy to find an example of the chordata body plan. Just look in the mirror. But it's more difficult to see which features we share with the rest of the chordatas. Chordatas have their skeletons on the inside, a design that allows for growth without the need for molting. Of the approximately 50,000 living chordatas, 97% are vertebrates, animals whose skeletons include a backbone. One chordata feature is a hollow nerve structure called a dorsal nerve cord that in most members becomes the spinal cord and brain. Any chordata has an inner skeleton with a backbone. It generally has 4 appendages that are in the form of legs, arms, wings, or fins. They have bilateral symmetry. They have 2 gut openings. They take in food through the mouth. The chordata has a mouth with a tongue. Some have teeth and some do not. It has a digestive system with stomach and intestines. Chordatas eat plants and animals. They get rid of waste through anus. They take in oxygen and get rid of carbon dioxide through lungs or gills. They are warm-blooded or cold-blooded depending on the class of chordata. Human beings are warm-blooded, keeping the same temperature of a range between 36 and 38 degrees. They move by all 4 major appendages. They reproduce sexually and externally. They have a brain and nervous system. Most chordatas have 2 eyes and at least a minimal system of hearing as fish do underwater. Many have excellent hearing. Some chordatas are literally blind as the bat, but most have good vision. The chordatas have the most developed brains of all the phyla and complex nervous system. Let's move on to phylum Echinodermata. The word means spiky skin. While the majority of animal body plans are bilateral with a distinct head and tail, echinoderms do not follow this pattern. While many echinoderms begin life as a bilateral larva, later in life they take a radical change of course. They become radial with 5-part symmetry and no central brain. They have 5 arms and spines or bumps all over its body. The spines are protective and help with respiration. Echinoderms move, feed and breathe with a unique water vascular system, ending in what are called tube feet. The bodies of echinoderms are made of hard, calcium-based plates that are often spiny and covered by a thin skin. Most echinoderms are either stationary or slow-moving, methodical animals. They have two gut openings. Echinoderms have a simple digestive system with a mouth, stomach, intestine, and anus. In many, the mouth is on the underside and the anus on the top surface of the animal. Sea stars can push their stomachs outside of their body and insert it into its prey, allowing them to digest the food externally. This ability allows sea stars to hunt prey that are much larger than its mouth would otherwise allow. Echinoderms have a network of fluid-filled canals that function in gas exchange, feeding, and in movement. The network contains a central ring and areas which contain the tube feet which stretch along the body or arms. The tube feet poke through holes in the skeleton and can be extended or contracted. They do not have a true heart, and the blood often lacks any respiratory pigment or pike hemoglobin. They use some of the bumps or spines on the surface to take in oxygen. They have a gill structure to take in the oxygen. They have a poorly developed respiratory system. The echinoderms reproduce sexually and asexually. The males and females discharge their eggs and sperm into the water, where they are fertilized. A female can release 100 million eggs at once. If a piece of certain echinoderms is chopped off, a new piece or even a new echinoderm can regrow. Echinoderms do not have brains. They have nerves running from the mouth into each arm or along the body. They have tiny eye spots at the end of each arm, which only detect light or dark. Some of their tube feet are also sensitive to chemicals, and this allows them to find the source of smells such as food. They generally have poor nervous systems. Moving on to phylum Mollusca. Mollusca comes from a Latin word meaning soft. They generally have soft bodies. Mollusks have an amazing degree of diversity, yet all have certain features in common. All have soft bodies and have a strong muscular foot, which is used for movement or grasping. They also have gills, a mouth, and an anus. A feature unique to mollusks is a file-like rasping tool called a radula. They have two gut openings. They have food brought in through a siphon system and then to its mouth. It then goes to a digestive gland and to its intestine. Waste leave through the anus. It has an organ called the nephridium that get rid of this waste. Mollusk siphons bring water in and out of their bodies so that they can get oxygen and give off carbon dioxide. They have gills that help with this. They have no formal nervous system, but has a series of ganglia that can know impulses. They do not have brains, but have two pairs of main nerve cords, the visceral ones and the pedal ones. When oxygenated, such blood is bluish in color, and when deoxygenated blood is colorless. Only a few mollusks have hemoglobin in their blood. Blood circulation is variable within the phylum, but is generally mediated by a muscular heart, which distributes the blood to the tissues. They move by muscular foot or fins. Mollusks reproduce sexually with a large organ called a gonad. They reproduce externally. This is the end of our documentary. We hope you have a great day. Thank you.